I think my perspective on death changed when my mom died. I was 21. Since then, I've had a different perspective than my peers, perhaps. I'm not afraid of dying. I don't want to die anytime soon, but I'm not afraid of it.
Mary Catherine Minicon will spend this day with the dying. So will Alicia Rojas Weiner. They're new volunteers at a San Francisco hospice.
I've never lost anybody, and we've never really been touched in our inner circle of our family by death. So it feels like a big unknown.
Rojas Weiner plans to become a doctor.
I know that I'm headed for 5 to 9 years of serious brainwashing. And what I'm beginning to understand is that Western medicine, for the most part, in the way that it's taught and practiced, is lacking this reverence for life and this understanding that death is so much part of it.
I'm Philip Marcus. I used to work in a nursing home, and so I was around death a lot. People talked about, their feelings about dying, and it was really sad that a lot of times they wanted to be at a place where they weren't.
In the heart of the city, they will learn a different way of caring for the dying.
Everything about this culture tells us to run in the other direction from death. And for one reason or another, you've come here to be part of this training to face death directly. And I think that takes some courage. We'll find out how much courage it takes.
Frank Ostaseski is founding director of the Zen Hospice, established 13 years ago to help dying patients who cannot stay at home.
We take our elders and we shut them away in nursing homes and institutions so that we won't have to see their pain. We even put rouge on people in the coffin. All ways to keep death at arm's length. So I want to invite it into the room, this death, so that we get to know it like an old friend.
Although the Zen Hospice is based on Buddhist philosophy, its resident patients and the volunteers who help run it come from many different backgrounds.
9 years ago, my sisters and my father took care of our mother in our home. I don't think I've ever lived as intensely, and I miss that, and I want to visit it again, and in my mother's honor, who helped us all in a really beautiful death.
During a week of intensive preparation, the volunteers are asked to study pictures of hospice residents and even to imagine their own dying.
The hospice work teaches a sort of psychic resilience, the ability to absorb loss and fear and grief. It teaches you how to absorb those emotions and learn from them rather than hold them at bay.
Change. First, really, we have to learn to listen to ourselves. As we practice that, then we can bring that to the bedside.
What would you like? You want your headphone?
Really? Just put one in. Speculate. To accompany someone is just to give them our attention.
You would think that the dying get a lot of attention because of the extremity of their situation.
I think sometimes we have to distinguish between what's getting the attention. Is the illness getting all the attention, or is the individual, this human being that's there, getting the attention? Bo is a man who likes to be in control. One guy in the house right now, Bo, he's kind of a tough cookie with a big, soft heart. A little cantankerous on the surface, but kind as can be inside. He came to us from a small downtown hotel. Wasn't quite sure about us, tested us every day, wanted to see, were we reliable? And we just began to create a relationship with him, a friendship with him. Now he's very close to dying. He's a little scared. We'll see how this goes for him. You see me?
Huh?
You see me? Things are changing, Bo.
I want to die knowing cancer. I want to die old.
Suppose it doesn't go that way.
I can handle it.
You can handle it?
I can handle it.
You got a whole bunch of people around you that really care for you. Diana, Martha, Bruni. We've been doing this with each other for hundreds of years, and we've just forgotten. In the last 50 years, in our love of technology, we've forgotten what it was like to have Grandma in the other room, or Grandpa laid out in the parlor.
How would you compare what you do for Bo and your other patients and what kind of care they would get if they were in a regular hospital?
For one, the emphasis here is not on treatment, but on palliative care, on comfort care. So that's a big difference.
You seriously want to get a cigarette now?
But also, I think we will let him lead more. We will let him show us how he needs to do this. Each person's dying is unique, and we have to follow them. They have to make the decisions, not the doctor, not the priest, not the insurance company.
Do you try to deal with physical pain?
Sure. Addressing a patient's physical pain is extremely important, and the hospice movement has developed this to the point of an art form. In most cases, we can help to reduce 95 to 98% of an individual's pain.
You don't bring me no Valium to go to sleep with?
Ask Diana.
However, suffering isn't relieved by morphine. Pain is relieved by morphine. Suffering is our relationship to pain. And that sometimes requires something very different. That sometimes requires a different kind of healing touch.
It's just amazing what you end up doing here. I mean, I was with one of our residents, and she was looking at her nails and saying, "Oh, these don't look good. This paint's chipping off." I said, "Oh, you need a manicure?" She said, "Yeah." And, you know, I thought, you know, do anything you can.
I ate all my dinner last night.
And when I was done, she looked at her nails, and she said, "You know, these look so good, I think I want to stick around for a while. But not too long, but I want to have nice nails when I go see my friends." And she was referring to when she dies. That was nice.
Coming, Julia. It's not like I left you stuck on the couch here.
I mean to be annoying.
You're not.
What I would like to have is just 2 plain pieces of toast so I can put this wonderful omelet in between.
Okay. Do you want those lightly buttered
Oh, well.
or plain?
Lightly buttered would be wonderful. I wasn't going to put you to extra trouble, but sure.
No, that's not true.
We change their beds, their soiled linens. We make soup. We hold their hand.
I'd love some.
Okay. My
And if you're going to do lightly buttered, how about a little bit of marmalade?
The orange marmalade?
Yes.
Sure. So you want that with the
We
egg?
listen to a lifetime of stories. Nothing special, really. Just simple human
I
kindness.
know. Okay, I want to make sure you like the whole combination. You know, the butter, the marmalade, the egg.
And the bacon.
Oh, bacon too.
Who was the singing trumpet player in the film The Glenn Miller Story?
Louis Armstrong.
Louis Armstrong. Wow.
That's what I said.
You did. I know. I'm just going, oh, wow, that's who it was. That was great.
Everything comes and goes. Every relationship comes and goes. Each life comes and goes. And when we allow ourselves to really see this, come into contact with it quite directly, we begin to see just how precarious this life is. And so we don't want to waste a moment.
Boy, yesterday I thought, wow, they're already here. All of a sudden I got this horrible pain, and I thought, oh, I'm dead.
Really?
So I thought, well, nothing you can do about it. You promised no crying.
Every room, every person, a different story to tell and a different experience, even though it's all happening under one roof. Just moving from room to room is a different, very different reality.
But I really did. I woke up and I thought, wow, am I dead? Then I remember some guy told me that always look at your big toes. I said, why? And they said, well,
communicate anymore. And then, unfortunately, that's when that happens, the cancer will have taken hold.
Yeah.
And then God will take her.
That sounds very accepting. I had no idea you were that far along the road to acceptance. Further than I am, as a matter of fact.
I hate to say it, Mom, but I know it intellectually. I'm a student. I know things intellectually, but right now it sounds accepting, but...
You're accepting it up here, huh?
My mind
maybe
knows
not
it.
so much here yet,
my mind knows it, my heart doesn't. And
And your gut probably doesn't either.
Oh, no.
It takes time.
My gut doesn't know anything.
Yeah, but it takes time for that. You start with the information,
And
and then you let it into your heart a little bit. We don't know when you will breathe your last breath. No one has that control.
I know.
Of that.
Just the Lord.
What do you want in that moment? Do you want your kids to be here?
Yes.
To be in the room with you?
Yes.
Even if it's hard?
Yes. Especially this kid. Because I think it's going to be harder if he's not.
And how about you? What do you want?
I want to be here.
Part of our task here, part of our work here, is to care not just for Julia, but also for Patrick. I think sometimes when people are dying, what can happen is we can start to see the